Hey guys, welcome back to the GTO. So what are we going to do today? We're going to rip out the last of these floor pans and figure out what we got to do to start reconstructing it. You know, putting the wheel houses back in, putting in, you know, these pieces. These are the trunk side drop-offs or filler panels. And then obviously putting in a new trunk in, putting in the piece that goes between the front floor pan and rear floor pan. Anyway, let's see, let me flip the camera around, kind of show you what we got going on. This may be a couple of videos, guys, but essentially I need to cut all this out. Remember, this was, if you're new to the channel, this car originally was turned into a Pro Street car, or tried to be turned into a Pro Street car. The frame, this is not the original frame. The original frame they cut in, you know, here had some 15 by, I think, 15 rims on a, you know, BOP cut down rear end. So this frame is actually from a 67 Skylark. And, you know, I'm going to put a Ford 9-inch in this, you know, anyway. We're going to get rid of that rear end. I've got different upper and lower control arms and springs and all that. That'll be a future video when we go to put the 9-inch in. But, you know, I need to put in rear wheel houses. Those are from a shell body that I had purchased, and they're in pretty good shape. I need to do just a little touch up. You know, we'll put the wheel houses in. You know, I need to cut this whole trunk area out. This actually was replaced, you know, when they did the Pro Street mods and stuff, but I need to cut this all out because I've got new panels inside the car there. And then here are these filler panels, right, that I'll need to put in here. So then the wheel house, you know, we can weld to that, and then we can obviously weld this all up. We have a new floor pan in the car. There is the floor pan from the donor car that I'm going to, you know, attach to the front floor pan, and then we'll take the new rear floor pans and attach it to that. So we're using some reproduction metal, some original, you know, metal to repair this whole thing. So anyway, let me get my plasma cutter out. Let me carefully cut out, you know, this, and then figure out what I got to do to, you know, get those in there. You know, I'm gonna, let me just start cutting, whacking, carefully cutting this up, and I'll take some pictures along the way, and we'll jump in and out of the video. All right, guys, as you'll see in these next few pics, I'm going to, these were actually replaced at one point in time. And so you'll see in the next few pics, you know, that they were basically, you know, kind of spot welded on the outside of the flange, not actually like plug welded. They were welded on the outside of the body, not the inside of the body. So I'm going to have to grind down, you know, what they did on the outside. You'll see here in a minute, so they look good. And I'm going to, you know, cut them out from the inside here so I can take, you know, this and this one out. So I'm going to, and there's the reason I haven't gone any further here is there's actually, a brace, the whole, you know, brace back here that I need to figure out how to, you know, drill all the spot welds out, and then I can kind of cut, this center piece out, because the other, trunk pieces will kind of come up and lay up on top of this. But I just got to figure it out. I'll probably cut, this out where you can see where they previously welded in. I'll probably cut right, in this area to expose the bracket, and then figure out what to do. But anyway, let me get the plasma cutter out. Once again, the Best Arc, from Amazon. It's actually been a really good plasma cutter. I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to cut this out. And by the way, I'll put a link in the description for the plasma cutter. I've had really good luck with it. Really happy with it. Anyway, let me cut this stuff out, and we'll continue to just cut all this metal out that we need to. All right, guys, figured I'd give you a quick verbal update. You can see, I've got that panel mostly cut out over there. Same with this side is mostly cut out. I've started getting this all cut out. I'm leaving this ledge there. We'll clean it up. When I put the new panels in to kind of somehow made up to that, we'll carefully cut that with a cutoff wheel. I gotta kind of finish this area up here. And then, oh yeah, just, you can see, right, mostly that's all cleaned up. I got a couple little spots there I gotta fix, and a couple little spots over here to fix. Gotta grind this down yet, and there's a couple spots here I need to fix. And then I can come and finish cutting, this part of it out, because here's the brace I need to keep. This is a wing, that basically I weld this to this panel. So, I'm going to cut here and kind of cut up and around and figure out there's a few tacks here, get all those cut out, the same with the other side, and then I can get all this out of there. Because here's the replacement panel, and I'll probably have to do some hammer dolly work to some of this, get it a little better. I probably don't need this metal up here. I can, go ahead and cut this off. But I'm not going to cut any of it until we start test fitting this up. So anyway, quick little update. Let me go ahead and finish cutting this out, and we'll get it all cleaned up. We'll have to do some cleaning in here, and we'll do some rust protection inside of this area before we start putting panels in permanently. Anyway, just a quick little verbal update on where we stand. Now, one area, guys, I don't know what I'm going to do with is there was a lot of popcorn welding here. So I'm going to have to figure out how to grind that down and cut that out carefully. And I don't know if I'm going to have to patch that area. That'll be fun. But yeah, something we'll have to deal with here when we get there. Same is the exact same thing on the other side. Well, guys, as you saw in the time lapse, I tried to blow a bunch of this out with the plasma cutter. I accidentally put a little hole in the quarter panel. That'll be an easy fix. But if you notice, let me try to hold the light and the phone at the same time here. Right, this is a bracket here that I need to keep, and down here is a brace, I need to keep that attaches to this, so then I can weld the new piece in. So You know, I got a lot of cutting here yet to do and cleaning up with metal. A lot of cleaning up here with metal. You know, I need to somehow get this out, get this all out, get this all out yet. You know, somehow get it on the back side, and then there's a bunch of metal here. Oh, get my feet. You know, I got to cut all this out yet here as well. So this is going to be a little while. So I'll get back to you with the progress. And then I got to do the same thing over there, cut all that out. All right, guys, so I've got most of this cleaned up. I've got some up in this area and along the bottom here I need to clean out yet. Whoops. Along here and up in here, I got to clean all this out yet. I'm probably going to have to cut this out and just weld in a new piece here, so that way, and the same down here, so that way when I weld in the new trunk filler piece, right, it's got actually something here and here to weld to. So I'm going to have to just cut those off and weld in some new ones because they were all just messed up. And then over here, I've got to finish cutting this up here. I got to finish cutting some of this out. Same thing. I'm probably going to have to just cut this here, and then weld in some new pieces. So that way I've got some nice material to weld to. So we're close to being cleaned up. But the one problem I just ran into was this. These are my new trunk filler pieces. And if you notice here, right, look at this nice big long piece, right? This is where basically, you know, we need to weld the new floor pan to. And then somewhere in this area, we weld that bracket to. Those braces I got to redo. But if you notice here, this one, you know, doesn't look like that one. Look how this is about, I don't know what, 6, 7, 8 inches wide. That one's what, a couple inches wide. So I think they mislabeled this part. I'm going to go to my local National Parts Depot. It is labeled for a 6667 GTO, but this is not for a 6667 GTO. As you can see, it's got to look more like this. So I didn't notice that when I picked these parts up. Yeah, so I bought these several months ago, figuring I'd get to this a lot quicker than I did. Hopefully they will let me exchange this for the right part. All right, guys, so I went to National Parts Depot and they got me the right one. So what they did is when they looked at their stock, their inventory, there was only one that was actually correct. They had like 8 in stock, and the other 7 were also mismarked incorrect part number. So it was a good thing, you know, I kind of got these local, I guess, because otherwise I would have gotten one right one wrong one in the mail, and then I would have had to send the other one back, you know, and hopefully gotten the right one sent. So anyway, they had to basically take the other ones and figure out what they were, what they went to, and put them in that, you know, their correct boxes. Anyway, the part had the right sticker on it, right, for the right part number, but it was the wrong part that they put the sticker on. So anyway, thank you for NPD for doing that. Now let's get back to fixing, you know, some of these areas up. They're pretty much all ground down. What I need to do though is cut this out because it's been all booger welded. So I'm going to cut this out and weld in a new piece here, the same with the other side. All right, guys, so now I'm on the underside of the car, and here's what I was talking about from the top side, where we're going to cut this out and put some new metal in. That way we've got a nice flange here that's not all boogered up, so that way we can weld to it. I've got some 18 gauge, you know, from the shell body. If you've been following the channel for a while, original, you know, Pontiac sheet metal that we'll go ahead and I'll build a flange in and add it to this. And then you can see these flanges here got, you know, pretty well destroyed when I was taking the car apart. So what I'm going to do is I've got that same 18 gauge. We'll go ahead and do a 90 here and do a couple of plug welds or rosette welds, whatever you want to call them. and weld a new flange on here and a new flange on here. And the same with the other side, is we'll, do the exact same thing. We'll cut this off, weld in a couple new flanges. I'll go ahead and do a bunch of stills so you guys can see that. And then, in a future video or the next video, we'll start, putting in the trunk trough in and figuring out wheel houses and all that kind of stuff. So then we can then deal with the floor pans. Anyway, let's jump right into a bunch of stills here. All right, guys, I figured I'd give you a quick little update on where we're at. So this looks like a galvanized panel. So I've taken and, used a, little wire wheel on my drill to kind of clean this up best I can. I will top coat this inside here with like some rust converter, and then probably paint inside here as well. What I've done is I've made these brackets that I will weld on from the inside here. I think before I had mentioned I was going to do it from the bottom side, but I'm actually going to do it from the top side. Be a little easier than welding upside down. So what I'm going to do is spray some weld through primer here, but this being galvanized, I stripped down pretty much all the way to the metal. Galvanization, when you weld it, is kind of poisonous. So you would definitely want to make sure you're working in a ventilated area. I'm going to open up my windows when I weld, and I've got a blower fan that I use to suck, the fumes out. So I'll wear a respirator and I'll have that blower fan going at the same time, and then I'll weld these, in. This is not galvanized up here, best I can figure. I'm not sure if this panel was replaced previously or not. But I'm going to clean it up, and with as much surface rust as there is, I don't think this one's galvanized, but this definitely is here. So we'll take some pictures and kind of show you the process or the progress. And then I've also got this strip here, which I need to weld in here. If you guys remember, right, this is kind of where the booger welds all were. I need to put this in, so when I put in the trunk drop off here, we can plug weld it to here as well. Anyway, kind of quick status update. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got the new flanges all welded up. We've got pretty much everything ripped out of the trunk now. So now we can start the restructuring of it, putting it all back together. I got a couple little spots here and there I still need to repair. Just a little spot weld here and there, a little grind down. Just some cleanup stuff mainly. But otherwise, we have got the trunk all gutted, everything cleaned up. Good metal to weld to now. So I'm gonna just, inside that, galvanized area, I'm gonna hit it with some rust reformer type stuff, or some KBS, and let it neutralize it, and then we'll top coat in there, except for the flanges where I'm gonna weld, right? That'll tape off, and I'll put, my weld through primer in those locations. And then it'll be the fun of trying to fit, all the aftermarket sheet metal in here. I'm considering widening the wheel tubs an inch, just to get a little bit more tire clearance, but I don't know if I can do that with a stock frame. So I need to fit a few things in here and take a look at that. That'll be the next video though. So either we're gonna widen them a little bit and then do all the modifications to make it work, or we are going to leave them bone stock and just fit all this new sheet metal in place. Any way I look at it, there's a lot of fitting, a lot of cutting, finagling, finessing. I put a couple of one of the trunk troughs, drop-offs in, and they're way the hell off. So there's going to be a lot of work to those. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. I know it's, more of a tear down, cut out, fix, finish, but this is the stuff you're going to go through if you're going to, rebuild your car. So anyway, stick around. So, as we get into the next phase of this, which is, trying to put it all back together. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys on the next upload.